We're going to begin. This meeting is called to order at 6 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As always, we are being broadcast live over Van Buren Television Channel 12, and we are also on YouTube. Clerk Wright, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Trustee Kelly.
Here.
Trustee Boynton. That's
Excused.
Trustee Martin.
Here.
Trustee Frazier.
Here.
Treasurer Bud.
Here.
Clerk Wright is present. Supervisor McNair.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk. Executive summary today. Today we've got a consent agenda consisting of board meeting minutes, prepaid lists, voucher lists, basically paying our day-to-day bills and operations. We also have our standard fireworks display permit that is set for the not ours, for firework display by the BYC on Saturday, July 5th. We also have a memorandum of understanding with the Senior Alliance for the No Wrong Door program. There will be a proclamation today for Apraxia Awareness Day. It's something we'd like people to become more aware of. New business today includes a discussion on a special land use request for a drive-through restaurant by Chick-fil-A at 1100 Belleville Road. We'll also have a discussion from Fishbeck for construction administration for the Tyler Road Sidewalk Gap project, and discussion on a resolution for long-term maintenance of the stormwater management system for the Metro Park Party Store on East Huron River Drive. We're having discussion again on a 5-year second amendment to the existing ground lease agreement with University of Michigan for a half acre of land at Van Buren Park. There will also be discussion of the second reading of an ordinance and zoning amendment to add provisions for commercial, office, and industrial planned unit developments, and discussion on an ordinance rezoning 12 properties near Van Born and Haggerty Road to M1 Light Industrial. That would be it for the executive summary. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Through the chair, I make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented.
Thank you.
Support.
Support, Mr. Clerk Wright. I've got a motion, I've got a second. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. The next option, next is for the adoption of the consent agenda.
Through the chair,
Thank you, trustee.
I make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as follows: work study meeting minutes of April 15th, 2025, board meeting minutes of April 15th, 2025, prepaid lists of April 17th, April 24th, and May 1st, all of 2025, voucher list of May 6th, 2025, approval of the fireworks display permit application for a fireworks display by Belleville Yacht Club on Saturday, July 5th, 2025, with a rain date of Sunday, July 6th, 2025. Approval of the memorandum of understanding between the Senior Alliance and Van Buren Township for the No Wrong Door program.
Thank you.
Support.
They have support? Okay. I've got a motion, I've got support. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Next, we have a public hearing. Actually, we have no public hearing today. So we're into correspondence, announcements, and presentations. I'd like to start off by stating that Carol Bird passed away. She was a longstanding member of our community. She was the owner of the Re-American Main Street. She served in the DDA for many years. She did not have funeral services at the time when she passed away. So the family is going to be hosting a celebration of life open house from 1 to 4, Thursday, May 8th at the Washtenaw Golf Club, located on Packard Run in Ypsilanti. If you knew Carol, please come and share any memories you have from her. She will be missed. She was a daily fixture in this building and in our lives. She was a wonderful woman. We also lost another, not resident, but she kind of was a resident, Ginger Bruder. She was an Eagles member. She hosted the German night. She wrote plays. She wrote murder mysteries for dinners. She was a MSU fan and constantly threw huge parties for the MSU U of M parties and trash talked the mighty blue. But she was quite an interesting lady, and she's going to be loved and missed by a lot of people. Does anybody else have anything else? We have a presentation. Does anybody else have anything they want to make a notice, clerk? Okay. Ashley Shukai, would you like to come over to the podium? So today we have, so, let's start off with, what's your names?
My name is Paxton.
Good job. Ashley Shukite.
My name is Sebastian.
So Ashley, everybody knows is really taking on a lot of at-risk people's lives. She does a lot for the poor and the people that are addicted and behavior, and a lot of people that have behavioral needs. And one of the things that she's always been trying to raise is an awareness of, help me, aprexia. So we've done something to help her let the people know. Her son wanted her to make people more aware of it, and so they contacted us and they asked if we would do a proclamation for Aprexia Awareness Day. Whereas May 14th marks Childhood Apraxia of Speech Day, during which awareness will be raised throughout Van Buren Township. Childhood apraxia of speech, an extremely challenging speech disorder that affects 1 in 1,000 children. Childhood apraxia of speech causes children to have significant difficulty learning to speak and is among the most severe speech defects in children. I'm probably having this. The act of learning to speak comes effortlessly to most children. Those with apraxia require early, appropriate, and intensive speech therapy, often for many years, to learn to speak. Without appropriate speech therapy intervention, children with apraxia will have diminished communication skills, but are also placed at high risk for secondary impacts in reading, writing, spelling, and other school-related skills. That such primary and secondary impacts diminish future independence and employment opportunities and challenge the ability to become productive, contributing citizens if not resolved and improved. Public awareness about childhood apraxia of speech in Van Buren Township is essential for families of children with this disorder and the professionals who support them to achieve the needed services for those learning to use their own voice. Our highest respect goes to these children as well as their families, what they do, for their effort to determination, and resilience to face such obstacles. So let it be resolved that May 14th is Apraxia Awareness Day, and citizens of Van Buren Township and surrounding areas are encouraged to work within their communities to increase awareness and understanding of childhood apraxia of speech. On behalf of Van Buren Township people, we'd love to give this charter award to you guys. Would you like to say something? Okay.
Thank you.
That's great. Would you like to say something, Ashley?
Thank you. We just want to make sure that we have a resource for our community where we did not have one when Paxton was very young. So thank you.
Do you want to say anything? Okay. A picture? Yeah. You get in the front. Yeah, you're perfect right there. Thank you. Thank you very much. You guys don't need to stick around. We're going to take a couple hours probably. All right.
us is like an hour.
All right. So, is there anything else from the board? Okay. Next item is public comment. Anybody from the public that wishes to speak at this time on any issues before the board today? Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak on any issues before the board today? Hearing none, we're moving to unfinished business, which we have none. New business. The first item would be discussion on to consider approval of a special land use for a drive-through for Chick-fil-A restaurant. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Trustee Kelly.
I move to consider approval of a special land use for a drive-through restaurant, planning case 24-008 for Chick-fil-A to be located at 10010 Belleville Road.
I have a second by Trustee Frazier. Director Akers.
Very much. The applicant, Chick-fil-A, is proposing to construct a new 5,033 square foot fast food restaurant with 2 drive-through lanes on a 2-acre outlot in front of Menards. The site is zoned C2 and is located in the Belleville Road Overlay District. Drive-through facilities are allowed by special land use permit in the C2 district. Planning Commission held a public hearing at their April 23rd, 2025 meeting where there was no comment, and at that meeting, the Planning Commission recommended that the Township Board grant special land use approval based on the findings and analysis of the McKenna Associates letter dated April 14th, 2025. That letter also recommended that the Township Board approve the special land use request subject to site plan approval and associated conditions. Attached all relevant information in the packet. This concludes my summary, and I'm available to answer any questions that the board may have.
Any questions?
And real quick, will that take the heavy traffic onto their service drive?
The primary drive access is going to be off of the Menards driveway there.
Yeah.
And as part of the site plan review process, we discussed, especially for, the initial phase of when they open, they anticipate to have heavier traffic, coordinating with the Menards site to be able to handle that overflow traffic. But they are also, as part of their site plan review process, required to complete a traffic study, which they have, that is under review by our township traffic engineers, and we're making sure that it's not going to have a negative impact on Belleville Road.
Through the chair.
Trustee Martin.
On that note, I'm looking at their site plan, and they have made accommodations to, at my count, looks like 39 cars that will be able to be queued up in their drive-through area. That's quite a bit of cars. It's a double lane, so I think that would help ease any traffic problems on Belleville Road. I've never seen a queue for that many cars at Chick-fil-A, so I think that's a step in the right direction.
Okay. All right, I've got a motion by Trustee Kelly and supported by Trustee Frazier. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is discussion on and to consider approval of a proposal from Fishbeck to perform construction administration for the Tyler Road Sidewalk Gap Project.
Through the chair,
Clerk Wright.
I'd like to make a motion to consider approval of a proposal from Fishbeck to perform construction administration for the Tyler Road Sidewalk Gap Project, an amount not to exceed $48,650.
Can I get a second? Support. Who said that, Martin? Okay, all right, yes, Director.
So the Township Board has awarded a contract to Premier Group and Associates to complete the 2025 Tyler Road Sidewalk Gap Project. And they will actually be beginning the project either later this week or early next week. As this project is occurring within the county right away and the project is funding using federal funds, we will need to have professional construction administration. Our township engineer has prepared the proposal to perform this work. The scope of work is outlined in the attached letter, but includes staking, construction observation, wage interviews, which is required for the CDBG grant, material testing, and final project closeout. The proposal is for an amount not to exceed $48,650. We will be billed on hourly rates, which align with our general engineering services agreement with Fishbeck, and the cost will be expensed out of the landfill fund. Additionally, just to give the board an update on the project, we did have our pre-construction meeting And I did meet with the township engineers where we identified an additional approximately $60,000 worth of sidewalk repair that can occur along that stretch of road. So that way we utilize more of our grant that we were awarded. So that should push the project up closer to our grant limits, and we'll be able to take care of some more sidewalk.
Great. Does anybody have any questions on the sidewalk section? Do we have a rest area on that sidewalk? I don't know.
I
I know
don't
the other
believe
section
so.
does, but I don't think this one does, no? Okay.
No comment, just, happy to see this phase started. Been, I guess, advocating for sidewalks on Tyler Road for a long time. So it's great to see this happening. It's gonna be a great benefit for the people that live along that corridor.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've got a motion by Clerk Wright, supported by Trustee Martin. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 3, discussion on to consider approval of resolution for long-term maintenance of the stormwater management system for the Metro Park Party Store. Can I get a motion?
Make the motion about the Metro Park Party Stores stormwater drain.
Okay.
Support.
Clerk Wright? Okay, Director Akers.
So the attached resolution does two things. First, it accepts the jurisdiction over and accepts responsibility of the long-term maintenance of the stormwater facilities on the property at the Metro Park Party Store. And it approves a stormwater management agreement between the Metro Park Party Store and the township for long-term maintenance of the stormwater system on site. This resolution is a requirement from the Wayne County Stormwater Ordinance and is required by Wayne County in order for the applicants to obtain their deposits back from the permitting office. To mitigate the township's risk in this effort, that we have the applicants approve that separate agreement, which requires them to maintain the systems and authorizes the township to enter the property and enforce our responsibilities as well. The agreement is a template agreement, which we've seen many times. The template has been reviewed by our township attorney previously. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
I just have one thing. You said this is a template agreement, and I'm just wondering if it looked like some of the wording may not have changed because it says, it's talking about a manufacturing facility, and that specifically the party store and the stormwater maintenance agreement with the witnesses part, third paragraph. It references a manufacturing facility.
I apologize. When I was updating the agreement to send over to the applicant, I think those were some items I didn't change. If the board wants to approve it conditioned on me making those adjustments from a manufacturing facility to a party store, I'm happy to do so.
Trustee Frazier, Clerk Wright, will you guys allow that a change to your motions?
Yes.
Yeah, Clerk Wright?
We're gonna allow that.
Okay. All right. We do a lot of these, and I guess we have. So, and it's a good template. It just needs to be done. All right, so any other questions? Good catch, Trustee Martin. What was the other lawyer in the group? All right, so I have a motion by Trustee Frazier, supported by Clerk Wright. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? This motion passes. Thank you very much. Next item is to consider approval of 5-year Second Amendment of the existing ground lease with the University of Michigan Rowing Club. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Yes, Trustee Kelly.
I move to consider approval of the 5-year Second Amendment to the existing ground lease agreement with the University of Michigan for the premises containing approximately 0.45 acres of land in Van Buren Park.
Support.
Treasurer Bud. Okay, Director, go ahead. Sorry, I'm ready to sneeze.
Board of Trustees, the Community Services Department respectfully requests the board's approval of a second amendment to the existing ground lease agreement with the University of Michigan. This amendment proposes a 5-year extension of the lease for approximately 0.45 acres of land located within Van Buren Park, commonly referred to as the Boathouse. Under the terms of the amendment, the current annual lease payment of $68,000 will increase by 5% annually with compounding. Lease payments will continue to be due each July and deposited into account 101-000-651-000. The proposed amendment has been reviewed and approved by the township attorney, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions.
You said this is the bookhouse, right? So
Yep.
I guess a question regarding the lease money. So we get 68,000 what? How much do we get for lease?
For the first year, this year and the first year, this one, it'll be 68,000, and then each year it'll increase by 5%.
That's just for the land, right? That's for the,
It's for the use of the boathouse that we now own.
so we own the boathouse.
We
now.
do.
So what we doing with the 68,000? Do we do any upkeep in the building?
No, we do not. The lease is a net, oh, go ahead, Director.
Currently, the 68,000 is just deposited into one of the parks accounts. The University of Michigan is responsible for doing any other repairs and upkeep on it. And they have included with this kind of what they plan to do over the next 5 years.
All right.
When we take custody, when we took ownership, they were required to give us back a fully operational working building, which did need some work, and they did it, and they changed out the siding and the deck and stuff like that. But there's ongoing operation need to be, we go through and say, you gotta do that, that.
I hadn't been over there in a minute. It's been a while since I went and looked at it. The last time I saw it, it needed a little tender loving care.
Yeah, it did.
So that's why I asked that question. So
Okay, so I have a motion by trustee Kelly, supported by treasurer Bud. Any other questions? Hearing none, on favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is consider approval of a second reading. This is second reading of an ordinance. Can somebody make this and read it out?
through the chair,
Clerk Wright?
make a motion to consider approval of the second reading of ordinance 04-15-25, parentheses 1, which is a zoning ordinance amended to add provision for commercial office and industrial plan unit developments.
Okay, I need a support.
Support.
Support trustee Kelly. Director Akers, could you take us down this road?
Sure. As this is the second reading of the ordinance amendment, I usually don't go through it. However, I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
This is our third time seeing it, and it already went through the planning commission, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been eyed a lot. So I have no questions. Does anybody else? Okay, so I've got a motion. I've got a second, a motion by Clerk Wright, supported by trustee Kelly. It's a second read, so roll call, Clerk Wright.
Yes. Trustee Kelly? Yes. Trustee Boyden is excused. Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Frazier?
Yes.
Yes for me. Treasurer Bud?
Yes.
Supervisor?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next item is also a second reading. Who would like to make the motion and read it?
Through the chair.
Treasurer Bud.
Approval of the second reading of ordinance 04-15-25, parent 2, which is a zoning ordinance amendment to rezone 12 properties near Van Born and Hagerty Roads to M1 light industrial.
Support?
Support.
Anybody? Who said that?
Me.
Okay, Clerk Wright. Go ahead, Director.
This rezoning ordinance amendment is also another second reading, so with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions if the
Could
board
you,
has any.
this is basically, are these properties that were formerly houses?
Yeah, most of them were properties that were formerly houses. They were acquired over the years by Ashley Capital. They've knocked down a number of the homes and they're rezoning those areas from a lot of them from single-family residential to be consistent with our master plan. They're zoning them to be M1, which is our light industrial district.
Okay. All right. I've got a motion by Treasurer Bud, supported by Clerk Wright. I have no further questions. Anybody, any further questions? Okay, Clerk Wright, would you like to do the roll call?
Yeah. Okay, Trustee Frazier?
Yes.
Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Kelly?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Bud?
Yes.
Trustee Boyden is excused. Supervisor?
Oh, good. Yeah, yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Reports, we have none. Public comment. Is there anybody that wishes to make public comment on any issues regarding anything that they want to talk about? Come on up. your name and where you live, but it's not really required, so.
Okay, my name is Kay Smith, and I live in Belleville. There was supposed to be a motion before you guys today from a issue that we talked about in the Water and Sewer Department Commission quarterly meeting on April 22nd regarding the capital gains fee and a payment arrangement that I'm requesting of this body. I'm not sure if this is the time for me to
There,
speak.
yeah, they
Can I
actually,
speak to that, Supervisor?
that's right, you're on the Water and Sewer Board, yeah, go ahead.
The deal was, we were gonna meet with you, which we did. What was it, like Tuesday, Wednesday of that week? And I said, we will talk to you about a payment arrangement, and that was it. There was no agreement to a payment arrangement, nothing. We brought it to you, we sat down and talked
We
with
did.
you.
We did. I thought you were informed that we were not going to accept a payment arrangement unless the payment was made before the COO was given. We've never, we've done payment arrangements, but we've never done a payment arrangement that ends, that allows you to get a COO before the payment is done. And I called back the water and sewer commissioners, and they pretty much felt the same way. And so we're not going to do that.
Well, in the meeting that we had, I just kind of feel like, this is today, and you saying that you talked to him about it. I talked to you about it. I've talked to several people about it. I understand it's something that has not been done before, but there's a lot of things that have not been done before. And things that have not been done before are brought to a body that has the power to do something about things that have not been done before. I'm bringing jobs to this community. I've invested a lot into this property already. Now, there was some confusion with the payment arrangement that I was given before. And the payment arrangement that I was given before, I was told that I would be able to do that. There was, I guess, confusion on my end because it's saying that now that that was not what the agreement was, but that was the agreement that I had. What I'm saying is today is that this is a special situation. This is a special circumstance, and this is my life. I've put over $60-something thousand, all of my savings, and on top of that, into this place to get this restaurant open. And this capital gains fee, do not have the money for it. If you guys do not give me a payment arrangement or make some type of exception to give me a payment arrangement, I understand something that's never been done before, but if you guys don't, I lose everything that I have. I lose every single thing that I have. And what I'm saying is that
I've even called other people to try and see if I can help you out that way. But it's not we do not lend, we do not, this in a sense would be lending you money to open your business and hoping that you have enough money to pay us back in the future. We've talked about it for a long time.
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Enlighten us, please.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask the same, could we get an update, please?
So Ms. Smith wants to open up a restaurant, and she opened, I think it's been about 6-7 months now. Okay, so she rented a restaurant, and she went to build out her restaurant, and she was informed that she had, I don't know, maybe $14,000 for the tap fee?
it's $15,968.
Okay, $15,000. And yes, we could lower it a little bit, but it still have to be paid off before we did it. But that's neither here nor there. So she went and talked to Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence said that she could go enter into a payment situation, but before the COO was ever given, confirming that she could occupy it and open the business, that the amount of money, the tap fee had to be paid in its entirety, which is common here. A lot of big businesses, but they get $200,000 tap fees, and they'll pay $100,000, then $50,000, and $50,000. Before they move in, though, they have to have it paid off. So he told you that I don't know how how no payment schedule, no payment was ever made. We never got a payment. So you came back in and asked for us to lower it or waive it, and we said we could not do that. We could only do the payment schedule, and the only payment schedule would have to be paid out by the COO. And that's when you made your requests again. This is probably the third one that I know of.
Yeah. Well, this happened because there was a change of people in that position 3 different times since I've turned my paperwork in. And I just continued on because I had no idea about this fee. So I just continued on doing the build out, a total build out of this place, not knowing anything about the fee because
Our people don't matter. It's a policy. We have a policy. It doesn't matter who's sitting at that
But when I
desk.
turned the paperwork in, I should have been told about this then. Not months and months later after I've already did all of this work to get in there and to get open and then find out about this fee. And then it wouldn't make a sense for me to have a payment arrangement. The purpose for the payment arrangement is to be able to occupy and to open. Why would I need a payment arrangement before?
I've had 3 very long discussions with you on this. I've had a meeting with my sewer and water people exclusively on your issue to see what we could do to help with you. I have talked to other people in other industries, including, I don't want to even get into who, to see if we could figure out a way to help you. We had the water and sewer department take a look, and we said that the water and sewer board could actually override this group. It's one of the only places that they could. You could go to the water and sewer.
It said that you guys had to make the decision.
They kicked it back to me, and we have a steadfast policy that we don't lend out money for these kinds of things.
But this is a projection of stuff.
On water and sewer, they can actually, they get a lot of clout.
This is a projection of something this is a projection of a fee that I have not even used yet. I mean, there has to be something else that can be done besides me totally losing everything that I have. If it's over a period of 3 or 4 years or something like that or whatever.
I have a question. Where's this business?
It's on Rawsonville Road, 6093 Rawsonville Road, Rawsonville
name of it?
Textile, where Rite Aid used to be at in the strip mall.
What's the name of it?
It's FG's Island Grill.
So you're trying to open a grill. And these are what? These are tap fees?
Tap fees. 15,000. I mean, if there was a way to get even 50% down, it'd be fine.
Let me finish. Sherry, Treasurer Bud, remember before we had issue with tap fees? And we just, it's been a while back. I thought we discussed that we was gonna try to do something regarding tap fees for small businesses because that is it's a huge amount of money to come up with. And most small business, I can tell you that when they get into this venture, nobody really, and you're right, don't know anything about tap fee until they get ready to get it done.
We tell them when they come in because we realize it's a high fee.
But it is a high fee. It's based on the size of the business, but small business is high too. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna allow somebody. I'm gonna sit here and allow somebody to lose everything they have. So it's something that we got to talk about.
Yeah,
I'd be happy
the
to.
commissioner in the water and sewer department, she was a strong yay. She was a strong yay. And I'm just saying that I understand that this is something that has not been done before, but it's not going to hurt anything. It's going to save my livelihood. It's going to bring jobs to the community. I've done a pop-up for the past 3 weekends right here in Belleville, serving a lot of people. I had a great reception. I had a restaurant before for 4 years, so I already have clientele. The issue that he talked about was whether or not you guys were going to be able to, how did you know you're going to be able to receive your money? That is the big question with giving me the certificate to occupy before the fee is paid.
Okay, stop. You're only supposed to get 3 minutes, and we've been going on for this a long time. Clerk Wright is right.
This is my life. It's
I know,
my
but
life.
Clerk Wright is right. We did talk about this thing because it was, and what we determined that was that the water and sewer can waive partial fees, which is why she went to them. So they could reduce the rate, which I've already told you we'd be happy to do.
$1,000.
Right. But you've never even told us you can come up with any of it.
That's because because I was ready to open. I did not find out about this until I got ready to pull the permit for them to install in the kitchen.
Well, I checked with our building department. In fact, is our building department here? Yes. Are there any building permits on that building?
They won't issue them until this is paid.
No, they won't. They won't even, you have to have a building permit to put in a hood. You have to have a building permit to put in a stove. You have to have a building
Right,
permit
and
to
I
put in
purchased
electrical.
all of
You have
this
to-
equipment and all of these things, and it's sitting there waiting to go in. But it can't because I don't have $15,968. I don't have $3,000. I've put everything I have into this place. And right now, if you guys don't allow me, the one commissioner in that build in the water and sewer, she said a payment agreement of $15,000.
Doesn't she have
15
to
months.
then tap the sewer actually then after that?
Water is
Or is the water
already
already
there. There's
tapped?
nothing new than lines that have to be ran there. It's already water there.
No, so the way the permitting process works is, when we have a new business come in, we have a new business walkthrough that they do. They go with our building inspector. They go through and see if there's any updates that need to be made for the use of the building. They have to draft plans. They draft plans. They go to apply for a building permit. Usually prior to releasing the building permit, we require those capital charges to be paid at that time. We have made in certain situations, payment arrangements where people will set up a payment schedule. So while they're working on doing the work to bring that unit up to code, we'll allow them to make a series of payments, but we always hold the certificate of occupancy until that final payment is made. So that's our standard operating procedure. Water and sewer capital charges are different communities charge for their water systems differently. What water and sewer, so there are some other communities where they're more built out. They have a capital charge as a percentage on the water bill. What we've done over the years, and it's consistent with a lot of other communities that are growing and developing, what they do is they assess a capital charge on new development. What that is it essentially predicts future wear and tear on the system. So the idea is you get that money up front, you set it aside, you let it grow, you use that money to fund future system improvements, and it's based on the water usage of what that
So if you don't have
use
if
was.
you don't have the capital charges that we have, you're gonna have to add $50 or $65 onto everybody's water bill, every homeowner's like Livonia does.
So for example, when somebody pulls a permit for a new home, they pay, I think it's almost $7,000 in water and sewer capital charges for each new home that comes in the community.
Which is the going rate.
Who pay that when they do the home?
Usually the contractor or the person
does
who's
that, right?
building the home.
Cost.
Right, that goes in the total cost, so whoever buying the house don't never know nothing about it. I didn't.
Right.
Ain't nobody tell me I pay no tap fee when I build a house. So, I mean, that's a different animal. I think this deserves some type of discussion because it was brought to us in a form that, and I haven't heard anything about it. I know for sure that pretty much positive. I'm not gonna sit here and say it has happened, but I know something type of arrangement has been done before regarding tap fees because we had big issues with it.
I'm happy to do whatever you guys want to do with Ms. Smith's issue. I'm pretty much
it's
done with
something
it.
that I don't know that you
I've already
tell
gone
me,
to
then we
2
need to talk
boards
about
and I've
that.
gone to 3 different people. And I've gone up and down, so if you guys wanna work something out with her, I mean, I
Well,
can
if it's
tell you.
something that I don't know,
I can tell
then
you, yeah, I
I'm
know,
open for
I know.
discussion afterward, but
You know what, if you'd like to come back in tomorrow and discuss this with Clerk Wright's office, you're welcome to.
No,
I mean,
no.
if there's a way to make it work, I don't,
don't come, wait a minute. You don't have to come discuss it with me. I'm saying that we need to have a discussion. I can't make it happen by myself.
The seriousness
But-
of
but
this
we
is
need to have a
that
discussion.
the owners of the building that I'm in, because I have not been able to pay this and have not been able to get this open, they are actually taking me to court to evict me.
Right.
And I'm on a process, and we
Yeah.
go to court tomorrow.
The
We go
only
to
thing
court
I'm saying to the
tomorrow.
board is that, I mean, being a previous business owner, and I would be saying this for anybody, if somebody come before me and tell me that they're about to lose everything they have if they can't pay a tap fee and we can't do something to try, not saying that we can, but we're not gonna sit here and just automatically say no. And I don't even know anything about it. But
yeah, like I said,
we
we
need to
try
make
to do
sure, and we
something,
also
but-
need to make sure that every small business that come in here and apply for CFO or put their application in, we need to let them know from A to Z, everything they need to pay. And this shouldn't be nothing that's brought before them at the end. And I'm not saying it is, but based on what I'm hearing, she said she didn't know nothing about it. And I can get that because I really don't know nothing about, and I've opened a business before. And I was in the city of Belleville, but you're in Van Buren Township, just so you know it. This is Van Buren Township that you're trying to open business in, not in the city of Belleville. But,
And the city of Belleville doesn't have this.
they don't have that, I know, that's why I knew that for a fact, because I didn't have to pay one. So, but, yeah,
Clerk Wright, to the supervisor.
Yeah.
We talked on that night, and after she left, and we said she wasn't really game about doing a formal contract with the attorneys. Getting a formal, contract for 12 months. That wasn't happening. Then we have gone, from what I was informed, we have no security. If we entered into a contract with her, we have no security of, okay, we loaned her $12,000, $15,000, and she says,
well, I agree with that.
I'm not paying.
It would have to be a formal agreement if it was done, but like I say, I'm open for discussion
We can't go in there
later
and
because I
say-
don't know, this is brought to me on the whim. I don't know nothing about it.
I
And
agree with Clerk Wright, because this is the first I'm hearing about it, and I think that's something that we need to address to attract small business, and that's
Yeah,
that's kind of
ma'am,
what
if-
we're about. We're not, everything is not the big corporations. We need to attract small business and help them to succeed. So I think we need to come up with something.
if there's a reason that we can't do this, then it's gonna be brought forth, and that'll be a viable reason. But if it's something that we can help, I think our responsibility is to help, especially small businesses to succeed. But if it's something that I don't know, then we'll find that out. That's why I said we need to have a further discussion.
We can't, this board right now, they can do anything they want, but
Yeah, we can do anything we want. I mean,
Yeah.
a water board
So-
is put underneath us.
So what this board did do before was allow the water board to basically take payments up to the COO and to negotiate lower rates than the 15,000 for people that are small businesses like yourself. So they were allowed to, say, cut the rates in half, but they would, and take payments up until you open up, in which case you would have had to have that whole thing paid off. But the water board elected not to do that based on the fact that you haven't made any payments and you're not offering to make any payments until after you open.
If as the one commissioner person said in the water sewer, she said that a reasonable amount was $1,000 a month or over a 15-month period of time. I can make the first payment, and every month after that make the equal amount of payment to add up to whatever amount you guys say end up giving me.
Yeah.
If it's not the $15,968. I'm just saying that, I have one bathroom and 3 sinks. I'm not adding that much pressure to the system where I would be, I don't know how it's determined, exactly as far as what I'm gonna be projecting, what I'm gonna use over the next years. But if it can
How
save,
about, well, I don't know.
Well, we can't give
What
you
do
an
I
answer
do? I
tonight.
can't negotiate right here.
I don't have enough information. I can't give you an answer tonight, but I'm willing to discuss it, and if we can help, but we can't give you a yes or no tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah,
well, I understand
I'll
that.
have
That's
to-
why I thought that since April 22nd, this was supposed to have been happening. he was supposed to be talking to people about it.
I did.
You know, and
They
I
said
mean, I
no.
just feel like this is my life, and I understand it might be irritating, and I'm not trying to be problematic to anybody. I'm not.
Supervisor McNamara,
Want a chance to thrive.
with you and on the phone,
We all talked about it. We talked about this at length in numerous boards, and we've talked about it in meetings. We've had special meetings
But none of these people
solely
know
on
about it.
yours. That's because we manage, because this is within the purview of management. And they gave us policies. They said to charge this much for this. They said if I have a small business that we can negotiate through the water and sewer for a lower payment, they said that we could take payments up until the COO. These were all policies that this board handed to me to implement. And so I tried to work within those parameters to set you up in business. I can't do anything without anything down.
If we do the 15 months and divide it up equally, and I make the first down payment and pay every month after that.
I can't do anything, I can't negotiate from this board table. And I can talk to them, and if they want me to do something, I'll tell them a bottom line of what I'd be willing to do, which is less.
Hurt. It won't hurt.
And then I'll give you a call and let you know what they said tomorrow.
It would
Okay.
have to be a formal agreement. It had to be,
I understand. I would expect that. I would expect that. And that agreement would be, you know, could be used in court, if, of course, if I didn't pay. But why would I not pay? I plan to be there for many, many years.
Well, that's the last thing we want to do is go chasing after somebody.
You won't have to chase me. You won't have to chase
mean,
me.
well,
You won't
I
have
mean,
to chase me.
Yeah, things don't, okay, all right,
Reasonable amount broke over that period of time, I can pay that.
okay. I will call you tomorrow. I will talk to them after the meeting.
All right. Thank
Okay.
you, guys.
Thank you.
For all the extra time.
Anybody else that wishes to come before the board? Hearing no, we're going to move on to board comments. Does anybody from the board have anything that they want to make a comment? Okay, we're going to make a motion for going into a closed session. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion, we go into closed session.
Support by Mr. Martin. Is it a roll call? I think it is.
I think we
it
do.
is.
Yeah, we do. Trustee Kelly? Yes. Trustee Frazier?
yes.
Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Boyne is excused. Treasurer Bud?
Yes.
Yes for me, Supervisor?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. We're going to closed session. Everybody, we're going to come back out. When we do, we're going to go into adjournment. No decisions.
We can join the work study and then call for it.
Do I have to wait for these people to come back?
Yeah, there they at.
Please have a quorum.
Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I make the motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Support. We're adjourned. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.